Scenario Douglas. Let's look at introduction, probing, solutions, and the next steps. And I'll talk you through my thought process. Introduction then. Again, we're going to value the individual that's coming to see us. And in this case, it's the patrol sergeant role, potentially. But also, later on in the document, I noted that there's a PDR. And that individual had some excellent analytical skills and was described as intelligent by the previous inspector. The mission that I brought out the documents was actually to discuss the performance. There were a number of performance issues within the document and to make some decisions about the transfers that have been brought to our attention. And the first question, nice and open, let's get the scenario moving as quickly as we can. Tell me about your team. Equally, it could have been tell me about a number of other issues, but I've elected tell me about your team, open question, and hopefully they'll start imparting with some information. So moving on to the probing part of the scenario and the real meat of the scenario, this is where we're going to get all the information we can from the role actor. This is our agenda, and these are the topics that we've extracted from the paperwork which we want to ask questions about. The first thing I note is that there's an action plan within the PDR. Has it been achieved? I'm suspecting not. So I'm going to be thinking about welfare, discipline, training and the reasons why. And I'm going to be looking at alternative briefings, student officers' reports, which were also identified within that document. An additional piece of information we had was the performance data. It was actually too much to transfer into a plan, so I've decided at this point I'm going to talk through that data from the piece of paper itself. So I'm going to refer to that document and talk through it. I also want to bring a bit of balance to this part of the scenario, so I'm going to be looking and discussing the excellent report that the individual submitted about vehicle crime, the good awareness about policy, and then I'm going to move into transfers and possibly the relationship with the officers. So that's my agenda. If they bring any other topics into conversation, then I'll be probing those topics as well. So I've got the whole information to actually start making some judgments before I move into the solutions. Now, your solutions phase. It's absolutely imperative that you get to this stage within the scenario and you don't get too bogged down within the probing that you forget to get to your solutions. Your solutions are where you're going to score the most points. Now, I've made no assumptions here, so I've put decision on transfers. I'm going to make some form of decision, and that may change within my probing phase. And I'm also going to look at a solution around an action plan for performance. Clearly, that team, regardless why, whether it's welfare, discipline, training, regardless why, the performance is down, and that must be addressed. So we're going to talk about targeted briefings, paperwork submission, a smart action plan with some monitoring, review, and support, which is going to be linked to the PDR, as it always is within Osprey. It could be that there's some other solutions that come out during the probing phase that you're going to wish to bring in. And the next steps, how are you going to assist them? Well, you've already jotted down that you want to support them within your solutions. And it could be at this point that you're going to talk about role models and mentoring. Now, don't forget, you can be a role model to somebody you supervise, but you can't be a mentor. A mentor is somebody who has got no line management responsibilities for an individual. A candidate levering tool I've jotted down here. I'd be hoping by this stage I would have already found out exactly what that candidate wants to do in life, and that levering tool for me is perhaps they want promotion, in which case they'll achieve their action plan in order to get it. Perhaps they want to move on to another department, but actually they're going to have to achieve that action plan, and it's just a method of getting what you want from the actual role actor. So in order to get what they want, they're going to have to achieve your action plan. Open door, it's not terminology I'm going to use during the day, but what I want to get across to the candidate, that is if they've got any other problems, to come and see me. And then look at the old ITON, the impact on a poor performance from the team, on the individual, on the team itself, on the organisation. Perhaps other teams are going to have to work harder to bring up the performance of the neighbourhood area, and on the neighbourhood itself if you've got a team that aren't performing well. Now it could be that I've brought that iton into the scenario earlier, but I've just jotted it down in the next steps because I know this is going to be a busy scenario, and it might be something that I'm going to bring in if I've got the time at the end of the scenario. So that's my plan. That's the information I'm going to take into the scenario, and I'm hoping that this will give me the ammunition I need to talk for 5 minutes, score as many points as I can, and get the information out from the actor to enable me to score well. Obviously, looking at your plan itself, there's no real requirement to write down introduction, probing, solutions, and next steps. So your actual plan on the day may look more like this.